Hello and welcome to the EntreprenHer Show. My name is Heidi Richards-Mooney. I'm founder of Women in E-Commerce and president of Redhead Marketing, Inc. And today I have the pleasure of interviewing just one of my favorite people. She's such an inspiration, a motivational person that I just was so excited when she said yes. And by the way, she's across the pond from me. I'm in Fort Lauderdale and she's in Italy. So we're doubly excited because I love this medium that you can meet with anybody, anytime, anywhere, in any part of the world. So allow me to introduce you to Diana Dentinger, who is founder of Women of Meaning, author, entrepreneur, and lifestyle coach. As a creative leader in innovative corporate training programs, private coaching sessions, and keynote speeches, Diana has motivated hundreds to reach their full potential. Diana is the author of the new book, Modus Vivendi, Your Life, Your Way, that takes readers on a journey of self-transformation in 7 days. Hold that book up again, Diana.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Wait, I have to correct you. It's Modus Vivendi, which is...
It's Italian.
Sorry, everyone's going to get an Italian lesson. Modus Vivendi.
Modus Vivendi. Okay. In addition to being the author of Modus Vivendi, she is a Change Your Game formula, a life-transforming personality profile that guides participants toward accessing previously unattainable innate talents. I'm a 2.
I know that.
Yeah, I'm American-born in Chicago, Illinois. Diana has lived over 30 years in Europe, raising her 4 children in northern Italy. Oh, that must be tough. In fact, last year I had the pleasure of meeting Diana when she spoke at the Women of Wisdom conference in Cascais, Portugal. She's also the international liaison to Italy for the Women in E-Commerce. So it looks like we only can see her picture right now because it looks like she's got poor internet signal. But Diana, let's go ahead and can you hear me okay? Diana? Okay, she's going to come back in and request a seat. And then I will ask her all these amazing questions because she has some great advice for women and how they can achieve their full potential. And I just cannot wait to interview her. But of course, that could be a minute. Anyway, and you do need to be on Google Chrome, as we just found out. So I'm really excited about the book. In fact, I think maybe that'll be the first question I ask her since we started talking about that. And while you're watching, and for those of you who have been listening to the replay, be sure and Google Diana. She'll let you know how you can get in touch with her. But she has Women of Meaning, MEANING. And you can find her there. You can find her at Diana Dentinger, DENTINGER.com. She's a pretty amazing woman, and I recommend that everybody who can should look her up and connect with her. I've actually met her on Facebook a couple of years ago and reached out to her and said, we need a representative for Women in E-Commerce from Italy. And told her a little bit about what it entailed. Basically, it's pretty simple. When you're a global liaison, you simply represent. Here she is back in the room. Yay, Diana, welcome. And she said yes. So she's one of those women who loves new challenges and loves making a big difference in the world. So we're really excited. So Diana, I was just bragging about you.
I know, a little bit. Good deal. And all of a sudden,
filling time with all beautiful things. All right, so the first question I'm going to ask you, since we talked about the book, is tell us about Modus Vivendi, Your Life, Your Way, why you wrote it, and how our viewers can get a copy. And then we'll go into the crux of this interview. Uh-oh. Stuck in cyberspace.
It's already on Amazon.
Yep. Looks like Diana's... Hold on a minute. Diana, request the seat again because apparently we're having a few technical difficulties. Oh, my goodness. We need to talk to this woman. She's amazing. Okay. So anyway, as I was saying about Women in E-Commerce, so we have global liaisons. I think we have 23 now around the world. And Diana graciously agreed to be our representative for Italy. And basically what a global liaison does is promotes the organization within their own community simply by um, mentioning the things that we're doing currently. So we give our here we go again. All right, back in the room. Diana Dentinger is back in the house. Here we go.
We're going to get here. Can you?
Okay, there's a lot of it's a delay. Okay, see if you're freezing. Okay.
Yes, that's what happened. That's happened to you.
Yeah.
I can hear you now.
I know, but when you speak, it's like every other word we hear. It's very muffled in every other word. And if you can see it on the screen, it's this poor internet signal, and that will have a lot to do. It's the bandwidth maybe of your internet provider. I'm not sure, because I had this problem when I did the show from somewhere else. So I don't know. We could try it one more time. Esther and I tried it 3 times, and we finally got her in. And I'll just have to. Okay, so we're back. Yay! And I think we're going to be good this time. So 3's a charm, right, Diana?
Right.
Oh, so tell us about your book, Modus Vivendi, and Your Life, Your Way.
Okay. So I studied as a psychosomatic illness therapist. And as a corporate trainer, I had been certified in a lot of different behavior models. And it seemed like they were always putting people in boxes, like you were one of 4 types or you were one of 9 types, but it wasn't actually that interesting for people, you know? And I was like, people are so much fuller. And so I went on this process to study as a psychosomatic illness therapist, and I re-engineered from the thoughts and emotions that people have that actually make them ill, and how you can get back and have like different thoughts and emotions and access these innate talents. And if you go in this direction, then you really are happy, healthy, and fulfilled. So clients here in Italy have been asking me for years, they're like, Diana, when are you going to do a book about what you do? Because we don't have anything. We finished coaching with you and then there's nothing. And I guess, you know, they really didn't get the best deal because the book's in English. But, you know, a lot of people do read English. So Modus Vivendi is about your way. So modus is way, vivendi is life. So it's really your way to live based on who you are. So I take the reader on this journey, and it's divided into 7 days. So you take this journey about really self-discovery, and inside of this world of like archetypes. And when you define then who you are, then there's other days where you go back to school and learn how to become more. Readers, I mean, you know, I'm a talker. I'm a trainer. You know, I have no problem standing up in front of people or speaking. That's my thing. And so I'm very pleased that the test readers who read it thought it was very colloquial and really enjoyed the journey.
Oh, wonderful. So tell us, who is your book for?
My book is for any person who really feels like they're more, but they don't know how to put that into words. They don't know, they feel this and they see that they have so much more potential, but they can't like really describe it enough. Because I go on in the book and there's a lot about our inability to use descriptive words when we talk about ourselves. And this comes from the corporate training, when one of the very first exercises that I do with any team, with anyone from any level, you know, it could be, you know, customer service representatives, could be sales reps, could be the top CEOs, is to write a list and give me your top 10 qualities. The majority of people only get 5, and they're all those generic things. Oh, I'm reliable, and, you know, I'm determined, and, you know, people say I'm nice, like, and so, you know, with this process, you get these descriptive words that resonate with your biology, because the process is based on the biology of your emotions. the biology of the images that you have in your middle brain, you know? So it's very, it's layered, is what we would say. It's layered. It's, if you want to read it on a very practical level, then, you know, you find things to do with your life to make it happier. And if you want to layer it up and go up to a more spiritual, why am I here? Then you can also get that information.
Oh, that's wonderful. So the book is, and I hate to use a word for everybody because I think that that's a mistake. It probably is for everybody, but I'm sure you wrote it with specific people in mind who may be needing more clarity in their life, more maybe self-confidence, motivation. I'm not exactly sure.
Already, there are already those women that they have. They've had a lot of life experiences and they know what they like and what they don't like. But to get to that next level up, they need the utmost clarity. You know? Right. So the beginner people maybe haven't asked themselves enough questions. What do I want in life? And if they haven't sort of already like proven it to themselves that they've got the determination and the courage to step into that kind of new person, yeah. Sure. I mean, a beginner can read it who's starting, let's say someone who just read the book, The Secret, you know? So, you know, they're awakened to there's more in me than just, you know, my title, my role. Yeah, exactly. Especially my role, you know, because that's what's really big. People identify themselves so much with I am wife, entrepreneur, you know, mother of, wife of, daughter of.
We always describe ourselves by what we do, not really who we are. And I think it starts when you're little and your mother's like, I'm your mother. And, you know, and I think you get these messages that, and think about your parents, how they talk to you when you're little. They talk to you in the third person, you know, it's kind of a strange thing. Yeah. Oh, does you want something, you know, it's like, use my name. I may only be an infant, but use my name, you know. So we have, I think a lot of us have this identity, and maybe it's not a crisis for some people, but I can see when I was in my 20s and 30s, I thought I knew everything, but I really had an identity crisis. And when I realized it was probably my 40s that I didn't have any clue who I really was. Yeah. And, you know, it's funny how different life experiences make you discover yourself. And I think a book like this is helpful, very helpful for people who don't have maybe the role models or they don't know where to go to find out this information. So thank you for writing it. And thank you for sharing it with the world, because I know that in one book, we can't get all of Diana Dentinger, but I think we can get us enough to know we need more, if you will. So let's talk about some of the other things that you do. And the question I have is, we're going to talk a little bit more probably about women entrepreneurs, since that's the audience for this show. So tell us, what are your 3 absolute to-dos for women entrepreneurs?
Well, they're actually pretty long. Can we get? I'll do a synthesis.
Let's do whatever.
Okay.
Yes.
Because being, like I was saying, my coaching preparation is in a deeper level of thought and emotions. So, you know, I didn't go to a school to learn like life coaching and just ask people what they want, because I believe that there's, you know, if it's just result-based coaching, you're sort of missing the foundation. The foundation is always, who are you? You know, who are you? And then what you want will depend on who you are. But the majority of time, the people will approach, what do you want, in like coaching processes. And there's so much looking around. There's so much keeping up with the Joneses. Oh, well, if she's got that, I want it too. And so I really do put emphasis on the very first thing is get clear on your uniqueness. You have innate talents. You are a unique individual. Get really clear on your identity. And that's just what you were saying before. When you are clear on your identity and you have this strong, who am I? Then there is no more comparison. There's only, reaching inside and saying, I know I have this innately, so I'm going to pull out the potential, which means I will have to get more skill set, but in specific areas. Like we talked about, so I use archetypes for, people listening. I use archetypes, and they're, 22 different individual needs. So your need, which is the archetype, the knowledgeable need, you thrive on information. You thrive on, really being this hospitable and this warm, and it's all in the womb, like symbolic. It's in the womb, and you're just what is it, like a fetus is just growing, and this care that you have for people, and then it's giving them the information all about finally having them then get birthed, and so when you realize that you have that skill set, yours would be do a writing class or learn more things, like on the information. So we all have that. In any crisis or any difficult situation that you face, when you know and you're clear on your uniqueness, then you just go inside and you amp it up with who you are. So you take the vision off or away from what everyone else is doing, and you really bring it back into yourself. So clarity on your uniqueness, and especially for women entrepreneurs, this helps incredibly, because what we need actually to differentiate ourselves from everyone else on the market. Because if you're just given the same kind of message, why should they work with you and not with another woman, right? And so, and how you uniquely will even choose to brand yourself. And I'm really big on go big, really go get the professional photos that have your smile on them, choose your colors, and it doesn't matter what the market wants. If you feel really comfortable in you being uniquely you, play on it. Because people buy, let's say, with a relationship with customers, they buy you because you're the only one with your specific way that can give them, the results they're looking for. So I'm really clear. One is get clear on your uniqueness. Two is get clear on your energy. And this becomes then a little bit of a coaching session. Okay, we all have a female body, right? So in the biological world, there is a female body and a male body. Well, it's the same with energy. There is female energy and male energy. So a lot of women, what the difficulty that we have is that our body is female, and it's wanting even, let's say, a marketing approach that's more feminine, which is receptive. Usually the business world is run on male energy, and the male kind of business model, which is get out there, compete, be the best, victory above all. And that kind of energy is better for a male body. So a lot of times that's difficult for women to play in that kind of game, let's say, that's only male. Now you can have a female body and have active male energy, but you still want to balance that out because you want to respect the softness and the receptiveness that the female body has, even if you do combine that with a male active energy. And then there are some women that have a female body and they're pure female energy. I mean, do you know the women that they always have on a dress and a skirt and always do real pretty hair, and they,
and the mother
nurturer. Yeah, well, they're just like a beautiful little flower always, and you can be that way. Yeah. You do not have to be a woman entrepreneur and use male energy. If your kind of energy is just very feminine, receptive, communicative, creative, then really respect that in yourself, even though the business model is predominantly male kind of energy. Because when you know your uniqueness and then you know how to manage your energy, respecting both, the the male active way and the female a little bit. This gives you the poise. I like that word. Do you like the word poise? Yeah, it's that poise and that composure that starts to give you more confidence. You don't have to be in the model like it's always done. Bring your uniqueness and then manage your energy. Really get clear on what you need for even nutrition. Make sure you're getting exercise. Make sure your thoughts and your emotions are energizing you. So this is all about your energy. And the last one I say is really belongs to like the animal brain. And that would be clear. Get clear on your place. Because we are in this ecosystem of a game of life, right? And everyone has a specific place. So you wouldn't put like a horse that's used to grazing in big fields, you wouldn't put him in the jungle, right? So what I found with a lot of entrepreneurs, I ask a specific question, and that is, you must choose if you prefer stability or freedom. Because based on which value you choose will depend on your place in the ecosystem of, let's say, the work world. Because usually if you choose stability, you are better in a job with pay that is stable. Because when you choose freedom, which is usually the entrepreneur choice, you must give up any attachment to stability. They are two, and like I said, this is based on psychosomatic illnesses and behavior and the biology of our body. When you are in the wrong place, your physiology pays the price, and you will have predictable psychosomatic illnesses. So the layers of our body, usually people that, have you ever, an example from the male world, there are a lot of men with prostate problems. And so urinating, let's say, urination would be like the animal who marks his territory, right? Mm-hmm. And that's a space problem. And usually it's because he wants to be the leader of the pack. So a leader of the pack, like the alpha, he would go around and, spray his territory so he becomes the leader. If he doesn't have any followers, is he in the wrong place? There's just a lot of, so the idea what I found even in coaching is that there are some entrepreneurs that really prefer stability. And I think that's why they have a hard time getting off the ground, because they don't live well with just only predominantly freedom. Freedom is what drives an entrepreneur to work where they want, when they want, et cetera, et cetera. And it's not easy because you do have to give up on the stability, but it's a whole different kind of driver. Brick and mortar people might feel like that they're entrepreneurs, but usually if they have employees, they're actually more of a stability person. And them being the leader with other employees under them is very important, because if they ask for their freedom as like the brick and mortar shop kind of person, if they're wanting their freedom, then these people under them are sort of nervous because they're like, well, who's going to give us stability if you're always out and about, It's very, very important to understand, get clear on your place. And you decide that if you are either for stability or freedom, and then if you're a freedom, how much of a lonely wolf you're going to be. Are you going to be the Steve Jobs guy, sort of in a garage, working by himself, visionary with, all these wild ideas, because that's the kind of entrepreneur. Or are you going to be the person sort of like us that goes from place to place, connects with other people, but we still enjoy our freedom doing what we want? So get clear on your uniqueness, and that is, really where I find that I excel with this personality profile. Get clear on your energy, make sure you manage your energy well, and get clear on your place. And, take the risk risks and the challenges that are involved in being in that place, because you are necessary for the whole process of the ecosystem to work. You're needed. We're exactly where you're supposed to be.
I agree. You know, my motto has always been that I'm unemployable, and I know that has to do with freedom, because even though I wouldn't mind more stability some days, I realized a long time ago that I play well with others if I'm the one in charge. It's so funny. I don't mean that I have to be in charge where I'm that kind of leader who lets people do what they need to do, what they do best. I'm that kind of leader. I'm not the kind of leader that I'm not a micromanager or anything like that, but I like to show people possibility. And I think that, and my husband's the opposite. He prefers the stability. He's more of a corporate type guy. And he, you know, not that all corporate is perfect for his personality, because he also likes the freedom of, so he's in sales. Corporate sales is perfect for him because he can move around, and he has a lot of relationships. And when you meet him, you'll understand, because everybody adores him. And he's just a person, where I tend to be more introverted. He's the opposite. So it's just funny how those things, and when you realize who you are, how much easier your life becomes.
Amazingly. Yeah. And it's,
some people know it.
Because we're fed, and you know what I say is that we're fed all this information from the outside, you know, like to be in a certain way. And I'm like, throw all that stuff out, and really just connect with, you know, who am I? Why am I here? What's my purpose? Where am I the most useful? Being naturally me. Because it really, I tell you, it does not require any effort to be the best you. When you can really go deep, and that's the advantage that we women have. We are so naturally, let's say, emotionally intelligent. And we're open to that feeling, you know, that it really is. Life can be so effortless when you're just in the flow of who you are, and you trust in yourself, and you've got the confidence. You're like, okay, this is my big idea. Let's just have, you know, right people in the right time will come, and things will connect, and
Well, and I think you also have to ask yourself the question, do you want to fit in or stand out?
Yes, I love that.
You know, and both at different times. I prefer to stand out most of the time, but there are times when you have to fit in, I suppose. You know, when it's not my party, I try to fit in. When it's my party, I want to stand out. I guess that's just, you know, a personality thing or whatever. But I think that when you realize who you are, I think that it makes, like you said, a huge difference. So you work with a lot of different type of individuals, it sounds like, in helping them in this process of self-discovery.
Yeah, and it's really funny, because lately, and I sort of whisper this, you know, rah, 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 rah. Lately, I have had so many more intuitive men. Isn't that it?
Really?
So many
great?
Intuitive men, because, and then I actually had to add it on the Women of Meaning website. I said, you know, smart women and intuitive men, because all of a sudden they were coming, men who, like, you know, have sort of visions and dreams, and like, yeah, but I've always seen, and, you know, can you help me? Because I think I'm sort of going crazy. That's how they say it. No one understands me. I think I'm going crazy. You know, I'm sort of like seeing things, you know, like intuitive, sort of, you know, channeling information, and they don't know where to go. Because if you go to the crystal ball reader, you know what I mean? then, you know, that's not rational, logical enough. So, you know, I like to give people the spiritual, let's say, higher level possibility, open that door that, yes, you are here for a reason. And of course, there's information. The universe is made of information. And if that information came to you from a higher source, wherever, then, you know, that's because you were open to it. That's because you got to do something with it. Right. And, but I like the practical approach. You know, I like.
Well, I was just going to say, I think that's why you're attracting the male intuitives, is because they feel like they can trust you, that you're going to understand them without judging them. And I think that that's one of the reasons men may not, that personality type of male doesn't feel comfortable with his male counterparts, because men, and this is a very general statement because I know a lot of judgmental women too, but I think men tend to judge each other more based upon different values than we do.
Their car, their watch, their
the status. Yeah. So, let's talk a little bit. The show is about how women promote themselves on the web. That's really the focus of the show. I love to know what people do and why they're doing it. And then we want to kind of go into the whole, how do people learn about you? Now, I learned about you through Facebook.
I am pretty much a solo Facebook person right now in this moment. I'll be looking for a personal assistant. I actually took sort of a couple months of going slow, getting the book, and really the majority of my business, one, is word of mouth. I'll have the intuitive man, and then he wants his wife to go through the process also. So I do a lot of just word of mouth. And so that, there is no social media needed, and not even a website. Someone works and they say,
but you have all that. But you have.
Yeah, because people do, they want to check you out. But really, word of mouth has been the most effective.
And is that when you started out? Was that? I mean, obviously, you have to build a business to get the word of mouth. So, what's different today than, say, when you first started this whole process and helping people find out?
This is funny. When I first started, it was in Italian here in Italy. And then I transitioned. I said, what I have is just, I can't just limit it to doing it in Italy. I need to step out. And that's when, just a couple of years ago, get out the website and sort of, brand myself, learn about Facebook and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, it's not like I've been on the net forever. What is that? Like 3 or 4 years, really.
And wow. But isn't it funny how you feel like you've been on it forever in some ways?
Forever. And even with Facebook, because there were some years, let's say 2011, 2012, that I was in America 3 or 4 times a year at a lot of the marketing conferences. And so, I pride myself that the majority of my 5,000 Facebook friends, I really either hugged them or shook their hand or have their business card. There are so many of my thousands of Facebook friends that I really have met in person. And then a couple, then there's the part that are friends of friends. But so many I really have met in person. So I enjoy Facebook more because it's fun and light. And I really think the solution to a lot of problems is taking things lightly. And also getting in that space of staying inspired. Facebook is, it can go overboard. But, you get the person who is real. Let's say the person is real. On Facebook, the person is, a woman might have her mom in the hospital and she asks for a prayer. That's just a real day-to-day kind of thing. That's what we really need in our daily life. I enjoy also the intellectual side of LinkedIn, but I've dedicated 20 years to studying, and I think the majority of my time should be spent either reaching people and applying everything that I've learned in these tools and all that kind of stuff. So I don't have as much time to go through and the groups on LinkedIn and comment, and because I'm not really too sure where that goes.
Well, I think it also depends on where your audience is, and for you, maybe right now Facebook is more of your audience. However, don't rule it out, because a lot of the people that I started out on Facebook too, Twitter and Facebook, and then I said, oh, you know what? What's the big hullabaloo about LinkedIn? Now I'm, Now, LinkedIn's really my
Wow.
favorite because from a business standpoint, it's not the kind, you don't build the same kind of relationships because people are not, they're not asking for the prayers. They're not posting, although some people do post about their dogs and motivation and that kind of thing. But it's really more of a business setting. So it's like going to a networking event, and you're just people share great resources, great events they've been to. You can get away with promoting yourself a little bit more on LinkedIn than you can on Facebook because people expect that. It's a business website. So depending on how you're using it, and I've seen people on Facebook promote themselves, and that's fine too. If it's not my cup of tea, I just say next. I don't try to judge. I think the only challenge I see with Facebook is the ranting that goes on sometimes and the political back and forth. And I tend to just tune those conversations out because you'll never win no matter what. Because you have to, if you take a side, you'll never win. And the thing, it isn't about the side to me, it's about the person. And we need more of those intuitive males that you mentioned. And females running the countries, all the countries, but that's another story. So obviously right now your favorite social channel is you would say Facebook, is Facebook.
But, like you said, these have been busy months, and then I don't know if I told you that I am publishing another book about just finding your career in January, and another one in February about creating unconditional love relationships, let's say. So they're all modus. It's the modus series. There's modus vivendi, which is your life, your way, and then there'll be modus operandi, MO, and that's your work, your way, and helping people choose a career that really uses their innate talents. And then in February, for St. Valentine's Day, modus amandi.
I love it. I love it.
Your way, and it always takes things from a biological and emotional, and to how we grow and change, even in love, and that can be intimate. It can be with friends, it can be with family, it can be with children. So these are my write book months. But I agree, because my big dream is to have my own coaching school where I teach people the process, other coaches who want to learn really leading edge, fast, quick tools. So they, at least what my customers say, I know my customers, they tell me, Diana, you know me better than I know myself. And I said, that's because I've kicked butt and studied so much for the past 20 years about how everyone works, keywords that they use that tells me what's really going on inside of them. So I mean, I've already been approached because of the book. I've already been approached by 2 people in England who have asked me, can you train us? Your book was really great. Can you teach me exactly your methodology? So, so I think LinkedIn, like you said, LinkedIn will be a better place to position myself as, the owner or the founder of a sort of like a life coach school.
There's a few of them too. So follow them. It sounds to me like you have a lot of intuition. Yes. I know that from meeting you personally. So it'll be interesting to see the training, how it plays out, and how you'll find just the right trainers. Because I know there's you've heard of John Maxwell, yes. I'm sure. And of course, Tony Robbins. Well, John Maxwell has this wonderful program that he trains people to do what he does, because he realized, that he needs to spread his message further than he alone can do, even though he's well known around the world. So he's got the Maxwell, his team of people that do his training. And I always wonder, because I know a few of them, some of them just don't quite, to me, they're not that they have to be John Maxwell, but it's just they're a totally different personality type. He's very spiritual like you. I would say he's probably intuitive and all those wonderful things. And he cares a lot about the universe. So that'll be an interesting process. I will be watching and help, of course.
What I would prefer is that, the people, they already have their personality and their uniqueness, right? So they have their uniqueness. And these tools just allow them, as any kind of toolkit, so if they need a hammer to understand, how to hammer the nail, or, who are you? Hammer it in. People with any kind of back, actually, who I'm feeling needs it the most are success coaches, because they are so result-oriented, money-oriented, they forget the person. So I'm feeling a little bit that opening the doors to success coaches who can give their clients a more well-rounded kind of coaching session, not just get the results, make the money, what do you want to earn, what do you want to earn this year? And that sort of, let's say, low vibrational, just money, and with this kind of tool, they can get their clients on a higher level of, okay, what is your purpose and how does that feel? And what kind of people do you want to associate? And I think they can raise that level a little bit. So it's not just, what the Harv Eckert or millionaire mindset kind of thing, because that'll.
And you can have that, it sounds like, and then just apply the methods that you use and have some even more amazing results. Because I know there's a lot of success coaches who have really great results. But then again, as you said, they're probably working on this aspect alone and not the whole person.
Because I've seen, I've had coached a lot of let's say high-level entrepreneurs who have had a success coach, but they haven't had that feeling that they could open up and share, a dream. Oh, and I dreamed that I was, this and this, and that I was called, because it's a very rational, action-taking, logical kind of approach. So I'm feeling intuitively, that opening to relationship coaches, so they can get off of the superficial, techniques. Oh, if he does this, then as timeout or whatever. Relationship coaches and success coaches, so they can bring the fullness of their clients even into the coaching. It becomes more, like you were saying, lifestyle, overall happiness, and a fulfillment. What are you going to do with all your money? Fulfillment. And it's not.
You're right.
And so so many of them, they make the money, and like the predictable thing is, oh, I'm going to go open a hospital in Africa. So there's sort of like this predictability in, oh, now I have to do this kind of foundation. Well, but does that make your heart sing? What do you really?
Yeah.
So with the modus vivendi process, and maybe this is my training manual. This is the training manual that I use for clients.
Show us the cover again. What's the cover?
Yeah,
let us see the cover.
Your life, your way.
Oh, fantastic! So you had that before you wrote the book.
Oh, this is what you've been. This is the coaching methodology that I use. The book doesn't go through. This is I do one-on-one, 2-day intensive coaching that people are like blown away. They're like, this awareness is just that's exactly who I am. This is exactly how I have to structure my life. This is exactly what I need to be happy. And then they learn how to communicate that to their loved ones, and it's like instant confidence. So this is, and I have them. So these are, I have them color with markers, because our brain is imagery. It's not words. And if you can draw a picture of who you are, and then, like I said, expert in symbology, draw a picture of who you are, go through the process, and the final thing is another picture of who you are. I get some amazing, the last picture they draw is so amazing. It is finally, there was this one guy, let me tell you this one man, quite important, and I think, at least in Europe, we'll be hearing a lot about him. He's big dream, big dream. And I was saying, there's something missing in your picture. And he started drawing, and I was like, what about, I said, don't you feel like there's people who prefer that you don't succeed? And he's like, yeah, you're exactly right. And so he draws piranhas. So here he drew his boat, and he positioned himself. And then I would ask him, well, where are your 5 kids? Where's and getting his whole life moving on a piece of paper. And then he drew this piranhas, and I said, yeah. And that tells me you need someone who's going to keep the piranhas away from you. And you need to make sure you encrypt all of your emails. And I'd be careful on all the social media stuff, because you really don't want people to know where you are. I mean, that's how important he is. But until you get the imagery and that feeling, the sensation comes and it's on a piece of paper, you're like, oh yeah, this now makes me really feel comfortable. Now I know I can realize my dream because I'm taken care of over there. I still have my kids in the picture. I still have this house. I still have the yacht, or whatever. But so yeah, because when we had met, you different archetypes, right? I mean, I started briefly to explain those, and they.
Okay, you're freezing now. I don't know if there's oh, there we go. We lost you. Darn. Okay, come back. Let me click. Don't leave, Diana. I'm going to click out of the box, and then you can ask for the seat back again. So I know you're still in the room, so you can hear me, and then that might help. Wow, we are running out of time, and this has just been such an amazing program. I'm going to go ahead and type in Diana's email websites over here while we're waiting for her to come back in the room. Diana Dentinger, that's the number 1. Let me see why it's not coming up. Let me see. There we go. And then if you all want to check out the EntreprenHer upcoming shows, you can go to EntreprenHers.com. You can also subscribe to this channel at the EntreprenHer Show. And of course, Women in E-Commerce is wecai.org, and we're redoing the website. But if you go to the old website, it takes you to the new website. We just haven't launched it because we're still in beta trying to test a few things. So please do check out all of those, DianaDentinger.com, EntreprenHers.com for upcoming shows. If you'd like to be on the show, you can fill out the contact us form, and we'll put you on the schedule. And of course, Women in E-Commerce, we help women do business on the web and have for the last 14 years. And finally, if you're in Europe in March of 2016, early March, it's from the 6th to the 9th, we have our Women of Wisdom conference. And that's where Diana and I met for the first time. We knew each other on Facebook. We had met, and she was our global liaison, but we actually got to meet. She was one of our, I believe, 8 or 9 speakers. And I believe she's speaking again this year. I'll have to confirm when she gets back on the line. So womenofwisdomconference.com. We'd love to have you join us. Again, it's March 6th through the 9th, 2016. It will be in Porto, Portugal, which is the wine country. Beautiful. I'm very excited. I've been to Portugal 3 times. I've not been to Porto yet. So I'm very excited. And then in 2017, our conference will be in Brazil. And I believe 2018, we're talking to people in South Africa and a couple of other countries. So we'll let you know where the 2017 and 18 conference will be when we have those confirmed. But if you go to womenofwisdomconference.com, we just updated the agenda, so you'll see that. And I'm working on adding all the new speakers to it this week. And if Diana hopefully comes back again, and if not, be sure and reach out to her. She's also, you can find her on Facebook under Diana Dentinger. She also has a wonderful women's group called Women of Meaning. So you can check that out. And again, make sure you get a copy of her book, Modus Vivendi. Your life, your way. And I'm writing that also in the comments. So again, our time is up, and it doesn't look like Diana's able to come back. It may be, looks like we had a bandwidth issue. So again, Diana, thank you so much. If you watch the replay, thank you for being with us today, and thank you all for all of you who watched the replay. Have a great day, and I hope to hear from you at the next time. Oh, wait a minute, she's back. I'm glad I didn't log out yet. She's back. So Diana, if you can hear me, I was just giving everybody the rundown of all the places that they could find you and find us and get on the show. And I do have two more questions of you. So if we can do that, that would be great. We could end the program with you telling us about your upcoming Clarity and Confidence seminar, because I know that's a fabulous resource and event for people that they can take advantage of. So hopefully she will get in here soon. And again, you can also in the text area and the message area, if you want to also write down how people can get a hold of you the best way, that'd be great. So tip of the week. Well, you know what? I would like to mention while we're waiting for Diana to get back into the room, if you have not checked out the LinkedIn mobile apps, go to linkedin.com/mobile. You will find some amazing tools there. There is a page with lots of resources. Great. Diana, you want to type that in? That would be great. womenofmeeting.com/book. And that's how we can get a hold of your book as well. So that's great. And of course, you can buy it on Amazon. I've seen it already over there. We're going to feature it in our magazine. We also have a magazine called We Magazine for Women. So we'll be featuring Diana's book over the next month or so. In fact, now we'll have to feature all three of them now that I know you're writing a trilogy, sort of a trilogy, a follow-up series, I guess you will. And also for people who write books, that's a smart move, because when you only write one book with a title, other people can actually use that same title. It happens all the time. But once you have written two books with the same title or using the same title and a different subtitle, then you can actually copyright the title, so or trademark the title. So Chicken Soup for the Soul was no accident that they wrote a series of books like that, and as well a lot of the famous movies you've probably watched where they've had more than one, and that's simply because once they've written the second one and they get them copyrighted, then if someone else tries to use the title, it can be considered copyright or trademark infringement. So that's a smart move on Diana's part. Let me see if she can do it again. We'll try one more time. I'm just filling air. Oh, here she comes.
Yay, finally. Yeah, the connection is so slow. No, sorry about this. What a bummer,
That's okay. We've gotten some great conversations. So, Diana, I have a couple more quick questions for you. Tell us about your Clarity and Confidence seminar and how our viewers can take advantage of that.
Well, I'm actually doing one in London. Anyone from London? Just a one-day workshop in London on the 29th of November. And then I'd like to replicate that and make it easier for people really in the whole world to do that with a 4-part webinar series. Because I think nowadays people are so, they have their time when they are downtime, cooking or whatever, and they can take advantage of those kind of webinar calls, webinars or webinar series. And it's so much easier than, necessarily getting on a plane or getting in the car and going to a workshop, especially, if you're in a totally different continent. So I'll be.
Well, I was just to say a lot of the benefit also is a lot of people just want to soak up that knowledge. I'm one of those kind of people that attends every webinar, every seminar, every teleseminar, and I like the ones local, but I do a lot more online. And I think it's, as you mentioned, that the thirst for knowledge. So I think that for people like me, it fulfills me. And being able to learn from people like you who are masters at what you do, your gift, if you will. So I think that having the both is good. My partner and I have a woman that I work with a lot on social media, and we do a live workshop all day on LinkedIn, but we also do a LinkedIn course that's 32 shorter videos that they can take at their own pace, and then they get the certification at the end. And we have found that just as many people want that online as they do the live, because on the online, it's really good for people who want to get to the point and do it right then and there. Whereas the live is great for networking and people and, building relationships. So it's good. I strongly recommend you do it, and then let me know so we can help promote it.
Good deal. Yeah,
that would be great.
With the book promotion, then it's coming out. You're the first to know. I'm going to do with the KDP program. Then I'll actually be doing, every month or so, like a 4-day window of the free book download. Because I have this, a part of, let's say, my mission is to help in the world of depression. Because I had an ex-husband who was chronically depressed, and I tell you one thing, that is such an invisible illness. So I really want the book to get in the hands of as many people. Just make it free. Send it out there, because really that tiny little bit of finding yourself and remembering, really, I'm convinced that it can wipe out depression. People need to understand themselves. And so that's a big, let's say, the calling. So what I was going to do, even with the book promotion, is offer sort of like an audio series where people can get even clearer on themselves. So I'm putting together a couple, they can get their own personalized, instead of listening, this is a lot of times what was also the concept is we get a lot of information, but how do we apply it to our unique selves? Right. And so what I'm putting together now, and be ready for December, is how to give as many people as possible a personalized little package of their modus vivendi. What is your modus vivendi in a personalized way that can give them that clarity, really just on who they are? Because all the other stuff they're really not interested in, are they? And they wouldn't even apply it because it doesn't pertain to who they are, right? So there's a lot. It's so fun in this entrepreneur space because there is a lot of creativity. We're always there inventing, how can we serve our clients better? What do they really need? How can I be accessible online? How can I be accessible in a place, like for something live? It's fun. It's a lot of variety.
So we're out of time. So I'm just going to ask you the final question. The best way for our viewers to get a hold of you, connect with you, however you'd like to continue the conversation.
Yeah, go to womenofmeaning.com/book. And there I put the link to the book. I even have a free download, the 22 Needs, which is really a shorter version of Modus Vivendi. So they can do it without opting in. They can do the free ebook. They can also book a discovery session, because I'll be still probably only for another couple months will I be available just for discovery sessions. And then, because then I really want to take off.
Because you're new.
Yeah, because it takes a lot of time to cure or take care of every little individual client. And so, I prefer the client who's really wants the transformation, and they're willing to dedicate 2 days to themselves in getting total clarity, and a lot of women that I've helped also in like these 2 days, we've even done their branding, because once you have your uniqueness, once you understand your uniqueness, then from there it's all about it's all about personalizing your message and your branding. And I've had women who have had to redo their branding because once they discovered who they are and it resonated more fully with them, then how they were showing up online wasn't even them anymore.
Exactly. I did the same thing a few years ago. So I totally get that. I think that it's a wonderful process. Thank you, Joe, for joining. I'm sorry we're about ready to close, but Diana, I just want to say thank you so much. I know we've had a few challenges with the connections and everything, but overall, I think we had a great conversation.
Good.
It's going to be a wonderful recording for everybody. All of you who watch on the replay, thank you. And please make sure you get a hold of Diana at womenofmeaning.com/book, as well as DianaDentinger.com if you want to learn more about her, because she's amazing. And of course, Women in E-commerce. And Diana, make sure you check out the new site when you get a chance. We can start promoting some of the things you're doing in our new calendar. Our online calendar is going to be filled with our members. So wonderful. And everyone, I just want to say thank you all.
Thank you.
We're over and out for now.
Okay.
Thank you, Diana. I'll see you hopefully in March.
Yes. Oh,
bye.
I've
Take
already
care.
got a ticket, baby. Bye. Thanks again.
We'll see March 6th. All right. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.